ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to our 12th installment of Tango Kilo Sierra. We're out here at the Congaree National Park, which is really awesome, just down the road from my house, about 20 minutes. Got us a little camping spot set up here in the background, as you can see, and got a fire ring, so we're gonna have some delicious food that we're gonna cook tonight. And I'm gonna show you what is so special about this national forest here. So I've been coming to this particular national forest since I was a small child. So thanks for tuning in, and everybody who commented last week on my going solo video. I really appreciate all of the great comments and encouraging words that y'all had for me. Just know it's tenfold to you. I appreciate you and everything that you contribute to this channel. We are going to do our best to, just make it work. I'd like to take this time to tell everyone who has liked and subscribed and commented, thank you. I appreciate everything that y'all commented last week on my going solo video. It is a transition, and it's going to be a little bit hard being out here by myself, just in the elements, but I think it's a brand new chapter that's going to go great. If you haven't liked and subscribed, please consider doing so and share me with your friends. Can't do nothing but help you and help me at the same time. So in saying that, I'd like to raise my first beer to all of my subscribers and people and future subscribers. Thank you. Tink. All right, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see behind me, got our tent and everything set up, ready to go. I'm gonna set it up for camp worthiness after we do our cooking segment, so I have somewhere to sit out of the rain and enjoy our food. Got the camo tarp over it, just so we can make sure it drains and nothing comes in there at night as far as rain goes and drips on us or anything of that nature, because we will have our Mr. Buddy heater going, because it's going to get to about 32 degrees. Got my camo netting over the front door. I usually leave that for just in case. I mean, usually there's good people out here at these campgrounds and aren't going to mess with your stuff, but I like to leave that over the front just so I can see if anybody's been around and tampered with it, because I'll leave it a certain way. Just a little bit of extra added security for our hearts and minds. But, just as an extra caution, I always make sure to bring me a lock. These locks, you put it through the little zipper holes. No matter how hard they pull and push, until you get back with the key, they can't get in there. Of course, could they cut through the side? Well, yeah. I mean, logically, you could say that. But are they going to go through all that effort just for a little cooler and some food? I surely hope not. We're going to take this on down to the boardwalk of this place, and I'm going to show you the awesome things that make this part so beautiful. Well, ladies and gentlemen, as we begin our walk into this place, this is Congaree National Forest and Swamp. Looks like they've rebuilt this boardwalk recently, because this is what it looked like the last time that I was out here as a child. So we're gonna walk down into here a little bit further and just generally take in the beautiful winter leaves and gorgeous nature that's out here in the Congaree National Forest. Did an absolutely exceptional job job on this boardwalk. It looks great. When I was a child, it didn't have this railing, so now this is all ADA compliant, which is pretty cool. Just to clarify, just in case nobody knows what ADA compliant means, it means easily and readily accessible for people in a wheelchair, or anyone who is not can't walk too good and they have to use crutches or something like that. This is wide enough for you to push anybody, grandma, kid, anyone who is impaired as far as walking goes, on down the trail. You hear that owl? Either an owl or a dog, but it was hooting, not barking, so definitely an owl out here in these ancient trees. monster. As you can see, this bell-bottom shaped tree is completely hollow. Pretty sure maybe some bats or some kind of squirrel lives up in there. But the tree is still completely alive. How incredible is that? As you can see, these trees have somewhat of a bell-bottom shape to them. That's because these trees have been either submerged or have been sitting in water for the majority of their natural born lives, which causes them to swell and the roots to swell when they are saturated with water for so long, because these roots have to stay in this saturated wet ground, and when they're drinking that much water they swell up so they can hold the tree's massive giant structure. That's a weird stubby little guy sticking out the ground, but as you can see, it's more than just one. I've been told that that is a root. That root is sticking out of the ground because it started to grow out of the water so it could get to sunshine. So it was pretty cool to learn that little tidbit of information on this walk out here in the Congaree National Swamp. Some crazy stuff you see in a spot that you would never normally think to come unless there was a boardwalk that ran right down the middle of it. Because I tell you this, you ain't gonna catch me out here. None of this swampy land like that over there. Sink to my knees, nobody to hear me, yell for help, pretty scary. So I'm gonna walk back up in here a little ways, see what I can see. Maybe get a couple videos for you guys of some wildlife if we see it. Hey, Mr. Squirrel. What's up, man? Big ol' fat squirrel. You good, don't you, buddy? It is the dead of the cold right now. It's about 45 to 48 degrees out here. But we're starting to get into some swampy area. Look at that. Yeah. Now you can see why it was so hard to fight here in the Revolutionary and Civil War. This is a common occurrence around South Carolina. All of this marshy looking, just flat, swampy land makes for a hard battlefield, that's for sure. We've made it to the older part of the boardwalk. This looks like it's probably from when I was a child. I'm gonna go down this side first. See how it's leaning a little bit? No wonder they're rebuilding it. It's pretty scary. It's sinking in the mud out here. All that swampy area. Got another squirrel down there digging in wherever he's digging in. About the only thing that could, you know, step in on this land out here and not completely sink all the way to its knees. But ooh, this is mucky, and this is tilted to the side too. Pretty scared to be walking on this just a little bit, but I've seen people out here walking all day, so I think we'll be okay. Just watch our steps and we should be a-okay. Ooh, got some creaking going on. So this is pretty cool. Been walking for about half an hour. Probably made about a mile, mile and a half back up into this swamp. But as you can see where I'm currently standing, I would probably be knee to waist deep in muck. Water is flowing under this bridge, which is pretty cool. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so we're starting to near the end of this trail here. and start our walk back. Got this cool little creek that runs through here. Light is starting to fleet us because it is ultimately very, very overcast today. It's gonna rain just a little tiny bit. But got to the end of our boardwalk here. It was a nice little hike. It says the River Trail, Boardwalk Trail, and Oak Ridge Trail. The wilderness is a preservation of the world. I love that quote. All right, so we're gonna walk back now. So we still need time to collect firewood and things of that nature. Got us our walk back beer. Out here having a great time in Congaree National Swamp. Oh man, I love nature, even on crappy, cold, rainy days like this. We'll see you guys back at camp. Cheers. Coming up to the end of the boardwalk here, back to the beginning where we started. Didn't see any gators, thankfully. We don't like them gators around here in Gamecock country anyway. Anyways, gotta make our way back to the truck, get ourselves back to the camping area that's about 1.5 miles up the road, maybe 2, I'm not sure. And then we'll see about getting this fire going, even though everything is completely wet. You know us though, we'll get it going. One of the great things about being at these federal parks is the fact that they have facilities just in case you have an emergency or anything of that nature. And usually they're pretty clean, you know, so we're gonna take a look in here and see what we can see. Oh yeah, pretty clean. Basic little crapper, which is nice. Out here in the middle of the woods where you normally would have to go in the woods. As you can see, making our way back to our camp. Nobody's messed with it, which is great. Still that special fold that I put in it makes it to where nobody can break in without my knowing. Got our bag and stuff we're setting down. You can see if our zipper's been tampered with at all. Nope, still in the same place as it was when we left. That's good stuff. Best campgrounds are the ones where people do not mess with your stuff. So what we're gonna do next is I'm gonna go collect some firewood. We're gonna get this bad boy roaring. Overall, not a bad little place to camp. It's pretty roomy in here. Got my cot back there that I'm gonna set up. Get me a space blanket tarp that I'm gonna lay on top of the cot, and then one I'm gonna lay the cot on top of. It's a little bit dark in here, as you can see, but yeah, it's mostly just because I got the camo tarp over the top of it, so it's a little bit of rain that we're getting. This little dusting, I guess you'd call it, or sprinkle, isn't gonna be too bad. We're gonna get that fire going for you. I just wanted to show you the camp. We'll see you there. All right, so on our search for firewood at a campground that's pretty well camped, so you know for a fact it's pretty well picked over. At this particular campground and or federal park, they encourage you to pick the sticks up out the woods and burn them, which is really nice and a first for my style camping. Usually they frown upon picking up anything out in the forest at the national forest that I've been to, but those have all been mountain forest, so you know there are probably different rules when it comes to the mountains. Pull this big giant stick over here, drop it next to our fire, give us some small things to break up and get ready to go. Thankfully it's cold as it gets out here, so we really don't have to worry about spiders or ants or anything of that nature coming off this wood. That'll burn just nicely. We got our machete here. It's not very big, say about a foot long. What you don't want to do, see how that looks dead? That's not dead. Still got old leaves on it and stuff like that from when it was still summertime. So what you want to do is you want to take your trusty machete here and you want to chop on things that are already fallen on the forest floor, because you don't want to cost anything at home. You're out here in something's home, you know, per se, when you're in wilderness. So preserve the wilderness and only cut with your machete and or other tools, or you know, pick up anything that's naturally already on the forest floor. Just a little tip. All right, ladies and gentlemen, well, take these two big pieces of wood out of here. What we've got today that we're gonna start our fire with is some Funyuns. I don't know if these are gonna work. They weren't exactly a suggestion or anything, but we shall see, I guess. All right, so what we're gonna do here is we're gonna get our bushel of wood unbusheled. You can find these pieces of wood pretty much anywhere, as far as like Lowe's or Home and Depot or anything like that this time of year. And they're a little bit wet from the day, but we'll get those set up, get the Funyuns going and up under it, and then we'll see you when we light this puppy. Yet again, if this video is shaky or anything of that nature, please just bear with me. Still learning how to use the GoPro. Gotta get a lighter. All right, let's see how these Funyuns do. Got them all on this side. Oh yeah, they're firing up nicely. Smell like burning onion chips. That's what they're supposed to smell like. As you can see, fire's starting to pick up a little bit. Definitely want to take advantage of that. Starting to be about 45 out here, and it's dropping. So we're gonna get this little sucker roaring so we can stay warm and cook our food that we have special for tonight. Looks like we're going pretty good. We'll see when she's raging. You can still see some of the little onion Funyuns down in the fire there. Those lit up phenomenally. Very happy with this. It's not going all that well yet because this wood is wet, but as soon as it dries out, we should be good to go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, pretty happy with how it's going. Had a little slight mishap. Wood was a little bit too wet for the what was the Funyuns that we were using, so we decided to go ahead and use the Pringles that we bought today. Pringles worked great. Only reason we have this fire right now is because of the Pringles. So we're gonna let this thing rage and get going and get some nice bed of coals, and then we will cook you some delicious food. If I could give you one tip in using these fire rings here, don't touch the fire ring once the fire is going. You could touch the grate as long as the grate's out of the fire. The grate's been in the fire for a while. Steer clear of that too. It's got some little cooling handles on it, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they are cool. So just make sure in your endeavors in lighting a fire in a fire ring that you do not touch any of the metal parts that go with it. My buddy Joe came out here to see me.
What's up, man?
What's up, man? How you been?
Oh, you know. Same old, same old.
Heck yeah. You remember him from the goat farm / you know, giant bonfire that we had. Gotten a lot of cool comments on that.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks for coming out here and hanging out with me, buddy.
Oh, yeah, of course, man.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're up in our tent. It's raining a little bit right now. I'd like to introduce you to my new little friend. This is the Mr. Buddy heater. Pretty much what it is you hook up one of those propane tanks, one of them green ones that you see at Walmart and or Lowe's or any kind of supply store, and you click this button right here. You turn it to pilot, push it down, it starts to spark, and then you turn it to the setting that you desire. I'm about to demonstrate that here in just a second. Alright, so as you can see, you got the little settings there. I've got my propane tank hooked up. We're gonna just turn it till it says pilot. See how it got the light? You hold it for just a second. Hope it don't go out. She's starting up. I've seen people do all kinds of stuff with these. I've seen people cook on them, just treat them like absolute crap, and they still just, you know, produce so much crazy heat. This little canister here will last up to 4 hours, which isn't that bad. I've got an adapter that I'm gonna use in the next video that hooks up to a bigger tank the next time I do a park like this. And yeah, you can see it starting to glow. Ain't doing too bad. Sorry, the screen keeps going blank. But that right there will produce some good heat when it's cold outside, so I'm very thankful to have it. Gonna shut her down. I mean, that's just on low and that's producing some crazy heat. Shut her down, turn her completely off, and she's out of commission. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, and I guess what we're gonna get into now is our cooking segment. What I have for you today is some steak and eggs. You've seen me do this before. I just figured what better time to bring it back. Steak looks delicious. We're gonna get it cut up, and then we're gonna cook it and get the eggs going. Our fire, we were gonna cook it over our fire, but the fire ended up going out, and because it was raining, and that's okay though, because I got my little camping knife that we've used multiple times. And yeah, so we're gonna get this seasoned up, we're gonna get it cooked up, and we'll see you whenever we're ready to put it on the little frying pan that I bought. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, we got our steak cut up. And anytime that we're cutting steak or anything like that, I feel like it's always a great time to have some Clorox wipes and or some Lysol wipes with you, because you know, handling raw meat can be pretty dicey. So we're gonna go ahead and get our eye started up. We've got our little GoPro light showing the orange color, which isn't too promising, but that's okay, because we've got my phone light. But we're gonna get our, like I told you, our eye fired up, and then I've got this brand new little camping frying pan that I think is gonna work out just fine. Then we'll get camp set up. Well, at least what we're gonna sleep on set up, and then yeah, then we'll call it a night. But let's get this delicious food cooked first. Looking delicious. As you can hear, it's starting to rain. I think that our steak is starting to get right about as done as I like it. We're gonna get that out the pan, put it on our festive Christmas plates over here. Alright, next we get us 4 eggs. I'm gonna beat them inside the pan there, and throw some salt and pepper on them. Then we'll add our delicious, steamy, good looking steak there. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, now we've got our cheese going on. We're gonna melt that down on there and then put it on a plate, and I'll show you once it hits the plate. That don't look too bad at all. Got the nice cheese and eggs and A little bit of delicious steak going on. These cooking segments will gradually get better as I get better with the GoPro. Thanks for sticking with me, people. See you at the end of this delicious meal. Merry Christmas, everyone. I can't tell you how awesome it is to be around for another one. Thank you, everyone who is gonna wish me a Merry Christmas when this video comes out. And Merry Christmas to you and yours. I hope that y'all's holidays go as amazingly as you could ever imagine. All right, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, got my cot set up, got my camping gear shifted forward, so I've got a walking path. I've got this little space blanket tarp for staying warm throughout the night. Sleeping bag, a little pillow up there. Should be pretty nice. We're gonna get undressed and we'll see you when we go to bed. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, well, we're wrecked out here. Gonna turn in for the night, get us some sleep. As you can see, I got my sleeping pad under me as a pillow, which is gonna be nice because I don't need it, frankly, because I'm on a cot. But yeah, it's been a good day walking out here in the swamp and having a good fire. Pringles really saved the day on that one. But yeah, we'll see you in the morning. Good morning, everybody. Well, that got a little bit cold last night, but thankfully we had that bad boy. That Mr. Buddy heater kept cranking for us all night, kept us nice and warm, and heck, I even had to turn it off a couple of times. It got so hot in here, so that was nice to have. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna get up, get packed up, and we'll see you at the finish line. All right, ladies and gentlemen, well, that was a really great night. Even though it rained and it got down to about 34 degrees, our Mr. Buddy heater kept us warm. I was glad to have the cot and that little space blanket tarp to keep us warm. As you can see, we packed it in, we packed it out, made sure that we picked up any beer cans or trash, made sure that our fire pit is nice and out, and no other issues to atone for. But great camp. I will be back here come spring. This is just a beautiful park. I can only imagine what it looks like with leaves. And yeah, thanks for tuning in. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year's. We'll find another great place and we'll see you next time.